This is At the Extremes.
Beloveds, welcome back to At the Extremes, the podcast where we discuss the extremes in our society and how we got here. As always, we're your hosts. I'm Greg.
And I'm Serge.
And today, we're going to be chatting about the week that was. But before we get into the silver linings, I have an out of context Cody drop.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate that men lesser than me have authority over me and power over me. I hate that the most. I hate it.
He's such a cuck.
So he is, as you saw there, he's now moving to like a more of a podcast scenario, like setup. So he's got like a boom arm and like looking directly into the camera now. But he went on a 10-minute screed about how the taxes, and he hasn't touched anything about Trump. He hasn't touched any of that stuff. He is just very angry, and I think he's gearing up for battle.
Heck yeah.
The Holy War.
But against who, though, is the thing? Like, his people are
The blacks. Portland weirdos. Anyway, so you got a silver lining?
I do.
Go for it.
Just got back from Seattle, and it was a glorious 12 days out there. Did a lot of hiking, got to hang out with some family, beautiful weather, and I'm feeling really refreshed. It was a great way to segue into the upcoming school year and working. So, I love the Pacific Northwest. To all of our listeners, if you get the chance, you definitely need to make it out there during the summertime at some point, because I would challenge anybody to tell me there's a greater place to be in the world than the PNW during summertime.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. It is the one thing that kind of sucks about it during the summer is the fires, but like if you can be there without the fire, it's actually not bad at all. So,
and we were really lucky because it was very minimal fire season. There was haze on the horizon one day that we were there, but besides that, it was crystal clear. Went on a hike up Mount Pilchuck and saw just a whole view of the Cascade Mountains. Saw Mount Baker, saw Mount Rainier, saw them all. So it was awesome.
All the big ones.
Oh yeah,
Helen's
a little further south, and it was a little hazy, so you couldn't see it. But
okay,
all the other ones that were out there were just amazing. It's cool.
Well, we're a couple days late, but happy 1-year anniversary.
Heck yeah.
We did it. We made it a whole year.
A whole year.
Don't know how we did it, but we got here. So that's my silver lining. We've
that's huge.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of people on cheering us on and sending good wishes. So happy anniversary, not only to you, but also to anyone who listens.
Absolutely. And hopefully we can continue to crank out some good content, and you can tell your friends and subscribe and be more engaged, participate, let us know what you guys want us to talk about.
Yeah, get the fuck on Blue Sky for once. I mean, Jesus Christ, y'all. Mm-hmm. It's not like I don't put a ton of shit into that either, but whatever. But it's been a very productive year. So hopefully more to come from that. Let's take a real quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk douche canoe. Sergio, we're back. What's on tap for today, mate?
Dog, I've been itching to get back to this segment. It's being on vacation was very nice, and actually I have to say that I kind of unplugged from the news, but on the flight home, I listened to some things, and
oh boy, okay,
I'm ready to talk about some douches.
Let's get after it then.
So we're back again for our installment of the douche canoe.
Hell yeah!
And today we have an interesting character. This individual has been in at least 40 different television shows and 41 movies. You might know him best from this. for you 80s and 90s kids, if you are not aware of that theme song, it's to Lewis and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
Hell yeah.
So, of course, our douche canoe, Greg, said his name is Dean Cain.
Was that on the WB? What was that on? Was that a WB
I thought it was like
show?
a Fox
Was
show.
it
Or maybe,
Fox?
I don't know.
I forget.
And,
matter.
of course, the way more talented Terry Hatcher.
Yes. Yeah.
So, let's face it. Terry Hatcher was in Tango and Cash and Desperate Housewives, and I don't know what else she was in. But
I was to say, I don't remember from anything other than Lois and Clark and Real Housewives or whatever it was.
Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Housewives.
But it's, what else do you need to be known for? Those were huge shows.
Good point. Yep.
And let's say Dean, he went on to star in, well, nothing because he kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't remember him being in anything other than like Hallmark made for TV movies, except they were like the conservative version. Is that like I don't we don't have time to go through his IMDb, but
I went through and
yes,
and,
yes.
You might indulge me for a second. Let's go through some of Dean's classic movie roles. So he was in a movie called Obamagate, the movie.
Hell yeah.
God's Not Dead. Radar, The Adventures of the Bionic Dog, Horse Camp, A Horse for Christmas, and A Dog for Christmas.
Yes.
And that's just
Horse Camp and A Horse for Christmas.
And A Dog for Christmas.
Horse Camp, you feel like Horse Camp comes after A Horse for Christmas. Like you got to get the horse, then you go to the camp.
I mean, he's just been slinging them out there. Right? He's maybe the Nicolas Cage of B-rated actors.
He's
C-rated, D-rated maybe.
Churning out movies.
Oh, D-rated for douche.
Obamagate the movie.
So, Greg, will you indulge me for a second? Can we just look at the trailer for Obamagate the movie? And
has my phone.
We are now in a full-blown national security crisis.
Your wife just left me a voicemail. She thinks we're having an affair.
Michael Flynn investigation still open. Whoopsie face.
President Obama wants to know everything we're doing.
We are going to watch this whole thing, like the whole movie. Like we're going to sit down and watch it.
Yes, we are. And I think the goal was to try to be Hamilton-esque in there. So I think the premise of this movie is that they're reading actual text messages from the Obamagate.
Yeah, and I oh boy, there's so much there because it looks like they're doing a stage play. It doesn't even look like a proper movie. It looks like something you and I could do in this garage.
Yeah. And to let the folks in, let them know who else is starring in it is Christy Swanson from. So we have Superman and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, hell yes.
And then
hell yes.
Let's just maybe 30 seconds just look at this God's Not Dead scene.
Fuck yeah,
it might be an Academy Award winner.
Fuck yeah. Are you kidding me? What's going on here? Close this. Open it back up. We run a professional show here.
You prayed and believed your whole life. Never done anything wrong. You're the nicest person I know. I am the meanest.
Is he affecting an accent there?
You have dementia.
It kind of sounds like trying to be Southern.
Yeah.
My life
You have dementia.
Perfect. Explain that to me.
All right, I'm bored of this shit already. I just wanted Dean Cain to hear his little speech I was giving this elderly woman with dementia.
So I have seen that clip a bunch of times on the internet of just saying my life is perfect. Oh man, what a great bit of movie. Oh, we're gonna be watching Obamagate for sure.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
So we could be spending hours, like we just said, just watching and making fun of Dean Cain, but this is not what we're here for. So we teased it earlier. Dean Cain is a huge mega douche. And you can get a glimpse of it really quickly in the first minute of this, minute and 20 seconds of this interview.
Yeah, I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I'm a producer.
He does it all.
I'm a father. I'm a Ivy League graduate. I was a professional football player. I'll discuss things. You don't just because someone's an actor doesn't mean they're a blithering idiot. Although sometimes, I think it's important as American and as a citizen to go and talk about things and try and educate yourself because the general public wants to be educated on these things, and maybe if it's a face they recognize, they'll pay attention. I openly discuss politics if people want to. If they don't want to, I won't put my politics on them, but I'll ask them why they're so against this or so for this, or what would they do in this situation. You're completely against, guns, right? Well, what happens at 4 o'clock in the morning when someone's banging on your door, as happened to me in the past, and I had no weapon in the house? I was terrified. I'm a big, strong guy. My knees were buckling. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm armed to the teeth now. At 4 o'clock in the morning, come bang on my door.
Fuck Dean.
You come to my house at 4 o'clock in the morning, they ain't buckling.
Not anymore, because I got a gun and I'm a man.
Hell yeah. He also took a bunch of TRT and got real big.
Hell yeah. I mean, I looked him up. He said he's like 6 foot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
He's not that big.
Yep.
He's not as big as you.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, Superman's not even as big as you, dog.
I mean, black steel. They say it.
So everybody might be kind of wondering, why are you talking about this third-rate actor, and why is he the douche canoe? And I'm teasing a little bit. And you know what? I think, Greg, you're ready for the money shot. We are here because Dean Cain announced that he was going to be joining ICE.
Dean Cain here. And for those who don't know, I am a sworn law enforcement officer, as well as being a filmmaker.
I am an actor.
I felt it was important to join with our first responders to help secure the safety of all Americans, not just talk about it. So I joined up. And here's your opportunity.
They didn't ask me.
ICE.
I wanted to. I volunteered. I was a football player. I was an actor.
What are you going to be doing at ICE?
I am an ICE agent.
I'm actually a deputy sheriff, a sworn deputy sheriff, and a reserve police officer. Now I've spoken with some officials over at ICE, and I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP.
Are you going to be hopping out of ICE vans and apprehending guys?
I will do whatever
God,
director
it's so ridiculous.
Hell yeah. You know what? I'm super excited for a guy who has just a clip ago said, you come to my house at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm strapped to the teeth. This guy's going to be on the streets now. So.
Oh, totally. And so hopefully people are aware, our listeners, but now ICE is Christy Nome. They're offering people $50,000 signing bonus to join ICE and forgiving student loans. And so we have the face of ICE now, Dean Cain, a 59-year-old washed-up actor who is going around and, celebrating and promoting one of the worst government agencies that we have in the United States that will now be funded higher than any of the other branches, maybe not defense, but with the FBI and some of ATF and all of these other agencies. ICE will now have more of a budget than those other agencies.
A larger budget than some countries' GDP, which is astounding.
Yes.
Astounding.
Which is crazy. And so we don't have to get into too much more than that. So we have this guy who is promoting ICE, who is supporting a government that's illegally detaining people, that's taking away their due processes, separating families, detaining people here that are legal residents, detaining American citizens, sending them to a place called Alligator Alcatraz or CCOT, which are gulags that people are being tortured. And we are supposed to celebrate Dean Cain and this presidency.
Well, don't forget the most recent immigration detention center that DeSantis is dubbed Deportation Depot.
Wow. Cool.
I mean,
Meatball Ron.
You're really inventive. The right is they are full of funny ideas, really funny nicknames for places to pen people like cattle
and torture them and to take away their rights.
Yep.
And so for that, Dean Cain, you're a super douche. You are douche canoe of the week.
Hell yeah. Fuck you, Dean. You prick. Wow. Yeah, no, that's now that I know about Obamagate the movie though, I'm in. I'm all the way in on Dean. Sergio, incredible. Dean Cain, what a prick. He deserves with the exception of the the Obamagate movie that we're going to watch. He deserves everyone to write him many letters and let him know that they wish that it would have been him that broke his neck instead of Christopher Reeves.
Ooh.
Yeah. I would have loved to have held on to Christopher Reeves as Superman and let Dean die, but we all don't get what we want.
No, we don't. And
maybe he'll get lost on an ice mission.
Well, the thing that's super funny is I was watching some other stuff, and he's just like, I'm a figurehead. I'm an old guy now, so I'm probably not going to be out there like tussling it up with people. So,
Dean, what's the point then?
No shit, Dean.
Yeah, dude. No one asked you to be there, you prick.
You 59-year-old
What
douchebag.
a douchebag. God, what a douche canoe. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a real quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about something you and I actually started a conversation about yesterday, and that is how AI is about to suck the soul out of literally everything. We're back. Sergio, I left off with the idea that we started a conversation yesterday. So a little background, we hung out yesterday, had with some friends, had some incredible steak,
yes.
Brazilian style.
Brazilian steak. Oof.
Hello.
With the salt just, it wasn't too much. You could taste the big chunks of salt, but it was melting your mouth.
I think you have to have that in order to cut through all that fat.
Yeah.
Because it's got that fat cap. What do they call it? What is that cut called? It's like something with a C, right?
I don't know.
Brazilian, Portuguese, who knows? But so we started this conversation yesterday around AI, and you seem to be a little less worried than I am. And I just want to get your take on what is it about AI that doesn't scare you?
Well, there's a lot that scares me about it. And, I don't want to sit here and think that AI is just as, it's overplayed. But I think that it's still really, really new and that it hasn't been refined yet. And it hasn't gotten to the extremely scary portions to its potential that it could be.
Sure.
And so, I'll go through some social media sometimes and you'll see the AI pictures or their short flicks of Donald Trump and those guys. And you're like, all right, it looks a little bit like Donald, but you can definitely tell that it's AI generated.
Sure.
But I do get kind of freaked out about it, especially now working in schools and then having a child, knowing that there is a lot of scary stuff where there is programs where you can make like fake nudes of people and deep fakes and stuff like that. And kids have been using that to embarrass each other and to be vindictive. And that's the kind of stuff that really scares me.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a pretty significant backlash around all that. And we're going to talk about the deep fake stuff here in a little bit. But I think you started off, at least with this part of our conversation, you said that I was crazy yesterday, which is fair. I mean, I am crazy. But that, maybe I am a little conspiratorial thinking around it.
You can be a little hyperbolic sometimes.
Yeah, and hyperbole is it's the salt of life. It's the salt on your steak, right? Hyperbole is just
it gives a little spice.
Yeah, and I believe that spice is required. But we started off our conversation around AI like art, like you were just saying, right? About like videos of Donald Trump and things like that. So they're calling all that stuff like AI slop. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I don't know why they call it AI slop, but I do know why they call it AI slop because it is shit. It's absolute shit. Traditionally speaking, the slop is like low quality content generated by AI. But today, like you said, it's kind of getting close, right? Like it's close to not being able to tell, right? Like it's impossible to kind of tell like the difference between what was made by a person, which was made by a machine. But here's some more AI slop. I actually think you're going to love this song. It's actually, yeah, you're bopping your head because it's good. It's quality.
Those cheeks while they're making tortillas. God bless big booty Latinas. Shaking those hips like margarita with the Gucci that grip.
I have to say it's a little catchy.
It's very catchy. I've been humming it all week long. Big booty Latinas.
I mean, for me, the number one AI song that I remember hearing was the Drake and Weeknd song that they did, which was kind of the very first one, where it talked, I think it was on another podcast, it was maybe The Daily or whatever, about just where music is going to be going in the future. And, you know, if you can take somebody's voice and make lyrics and make it sound like, you know, that person, intellectual property, who's going to own what, and how are people going to make their money?
Well, and I think that is kind of, I think that's like, I think that's the first step in all of this that's kind of worrying for me, right? Like, because the AI slop of it all doesn't take into consideration like the actual process of making music and writing the lyrics. It's like, oh, this is what's been catchy for the last 15 years. Throw a bunch of lyrics behind like a tune. And then, I mean, I guess that's what all artists are currently doing, which is why music kind of feels hollow at this point. But you said that you had seen a video of Donald Trump, AI video. And I don't know if you've seen this one, though. I loved this video.
Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when
I like
I
the
say,
grown
okay,
adult man that's in the background, though.
You don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot. Perhaps by
so this is a bunch of babies.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was going to say, this is the best part.
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what they're doing.
Baby walking back to the helicopter, but it's like a full-grown adult Marine.
Yeah.
So that's from a channel called Diaper Diplomacy, and so basically they just take all the world leaders and they make them into these AI-generated babies, and it's really funny. It's like but it's slop. It's like, this is mindless bullshit like you see on the internet. Like but it's funny though.
This is why the internet always wins, because there's always somebody that's going to have this thought like, hey, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to do voices, but have babies, but then have adults in it too.
Oh yeah. And I think that like there is a certain level of creativity behind that.
Absolutely.
But I do think that like we are stepping into a weird direction around art when you start talking about like AI generated videos.
Yeah.
I think that it gets kind of murky there. But one of the things about AI slop is it doesn't stop at the like funny parts, like Big Booty Latinas, the song, or Donald Trump as a baby. It can also be veiled as a threat. And least we forget this abomination.
Ah. Yes.
Yeah. What's next? For Donald Trump is number one. So, yeah, you've got the video, the Gaza video that Trump put out on his Truth Social, where it shows Gaza as
a beach resort.
Yeah, like, you know, no Palestinians.
A gold statue of Donald Trump.
Elon Musk, Benjamin Netanyahu. And so, like, you can...
Trump Gaza, number one.
Yeah, and so you go, oh, okay, that's fucking scary and dark. I mean, we saw that when it first came out. It was like, okay, this is ridiculous. But then you start, like, thinking about, at least from my perspective, like, this is dark. Like, that's actually, like, there's not a single identifier of any Palestinian person in that video. It's kind of scary stuff.
It's super scary stuff.
I'm going to jump on my soapbox.
Do it.
I'm going to do it. Soapbox time. We've talked about this in episodes past, but we have intentionally chosen to not discuss international orders, international conflicts and things like that, right? We've chosen to stay away from Israel, Palestine. We don't know enough about the inner workings of what happens over there. We just know how outraged we are. And one of the pieces of outrage that happened this week was an Al Jazeera reporter who was murdered, outright targeted and murdered by the Israeli government. If this was the Saudis, like it happened with the Jamal Khashoggi, the international community would be fucking going nuts. The IDF, the Israeli government, targeted Anas al-Sharif on Twitter, calling him a Hamas agent for months before targeting him to murder him. They went after him, his family, for months before. They hunted him down so they could kill him because he was reporting about what was happening there. This is an effort by the Israeli government to cover up crimes against humanity. And we all agree what happened to those innocent civilians in October of 2023 is horrific, abhorrent, and should not have been happening at all, ever. These are crimes against humanity that should not be happening. But what Israel is doing right now with the backing of the United States government is fucking gross.
And backing of the world, basically. They have pretty much carte blanche to do whatever they want. And again, we aren't qualified to get really deep into the Middle East politics, but we can really say that there is an intent right now for Israel to eliminate the Palestinians in their own territory.
Yeah.
They're committing ethnic cleansing currently.
Yeah, it's a genocide.
And some will say a genocide, and it's out there. And Benjamin Netanyahu is doing pretty much everything in his power to appease the ultra-right so that he doesn't go on trial for war crimes.
Yep, because he is a war criminal based on the international court.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, shit, he is doing everything he can, kind of like Donald Trump, to get into or remain in office as long as he can to avoid consequences for his actions and be taken to The Hague. But anyway, that's the end of my soapbox there. I want to get back to the AI slop of it. Here's an example of some less funny shit that's been flying around the internet, and it is pretty fucking racist.
You're the chosen one. You've been drafted.
Hola, me no speak English.
I don't give a fuck. All right, yeah, we'll take all of you Pacos, say adios to your family, and hop in the pickup truck. Of course, that's nothing new for y'all. Wow, you've been drafted for World War III. The Army needs big booty Latinas. Hey there, you've been drafted. Oh, well, sorry to ruin your little fiesta or whatever, but you're all getting fucking deported. What up, bitch? I'm here to draft your 27 sons, or I'm calling ICE.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, man, I was going to draft you, but you keep making them tacos, Paco. We appreciate your service.
Gracias.
We could use you down at the border, but it looks like you've already been there. Hold up, bro. I bet your name's Edgar, and you drive an Infiniti G37, am I right? Who's trying to have some sex, though? I got tacos from Paco's Tacos.
So
that is so fucking disgusting.
It's gross beyond belief. So to kind of set the stage again here, sorry, I forgot to do this before. This is a YouTube channel that I've reported several times at this point for just making the most obscene, racist, sexist bullshit you'll see on the internet. And YouTube continues to platform this stuff, and they continue to push it. And like, if you made up an account today, it would come up on your account very quickly. I've done it 3 times, and it comes up every single time. They're pushing it on purpose at this point. But it is a guy who goes around, an AI soldier who's going door to door in a Latino neighborhood, recruiting for World War III, and just using the most racist, bigoted bullshit that they can to get clicks and to get eyes on their shit. And it is disgusting. This is the dark side of the AI slop world. Yeah.
There was something that was in the news last year in, I don't know if it was Baltimore City or Baltimore Public Schools or Baltimore County Public Schools, but there was an athletic director who was basically accused a principal of saying racist stuff and created an AI-generated voice of the principal.
No way.
Then it turned out they investigated and realized it was AI, and then they looked into the athletic director, and the athletic director had all these fake credentials that wasn't even supposed to be, and then was on top of it charged with like soliciting minors for sex.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that's stuff that's happening locally in Maryland.
Right.
Just think what's happening with people that this is what they do for a living.
This is what I'm afraid of with AI. Like, this is really a part, like the racist stuff on the internet, like that's kind of like, you know, old hat for the internet, right? Like we've been here, we've done that before. But like the real life implications of using an AI voice to try to mimic somebody so you can get them fired.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
And there's a lot of vindictive people out there.
I mean, let's, you know, not giving anybody ideas here, but like if you didn't like Sergio or myself, you've got a lot of audio to sample. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, you know, say all sorts of crazy things about us.
Yeah, call in a bomb threat, you know. And so it doesn't stop at video, though, Sergio. There's a lot of really worrying content, video, pictures, whatever, out there on the internet. And I've got one pulled up for you right now. It's a picture of alleged French criminal Marie Le Pen, who was also formerly running for like PM out there or whatever, president.
Yeah.
Yeah, of France. And here she is being imposed behind the Eiffel Tower with a helicopter chasing down a bunch of traditionally clothed Middle Eastern men. And this is right after, if you recall, when the, the Muslim terrorist organization shot up that nightclub in France, I think it was like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And so this like picture popped up very shortly thereafter, right? It's kind of, it's definitely not as tight as like the newer AI stuff. So you can tell it's a little wonky, but
the symbolism's there.
Yes, it's a tool to promote what we're going to talk about in a little bit, which is, you know, full-on racism. Mm-hmm. It's really a really big part of it.
Nationalism and, you know, saying that the immigrants and people that are there aren't really there, aren't supposed to be there, and that that's great replacement theory.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's exactly, you've identified it. And I think that like one of the things that I identified when I was looking through this episode and like writing it up was that art is supposed to make you feel something, I think, right? Like music is meant to make you feel something. Video content that you watch, like it's supposed to help you connect with the people or the group that's doing it, right? Mm-hmm. AI just feels hollow to begin with. And it, you know, it's like a scarecrow, right? Like it looks like a human from a distance. It, you know, does the thing that a human does, which is scare away animals. But the closer you look at it, the more you examine it, the more you realize like it's anything but human. It's like this straw-filled stick figure, right? Like, and in this case, it's mostly a super offensive, incredibly racist, bigoted, you know, anti-Semitic, sexist scarecrow. Like it's just really, really, it's soulless.
I think Hollywood could come up with a really, really good like movie with that metaphor that you just created.
I mean, I believe we got the actor to do it in Dean Cain. So
and Christy Swanson.
Yeah, Dean, we're coming. You know, if you hear this, give us your deets. We'll write something up for you.
Heck yeah.
But you know, it's just it feels hollow. It's shallow. It's not filled with anything. And I genuinely fear that the more advanced this AI gets, the more it's going to try to replicate our soulfulness, as it were, right? Like artists and writers talk about this, and one specifically, her name is Molly Crabapple, which is an incredible last name. She puts it like this: generative AI art is vampirical, feasting on past generations of artwork, even as it sucks the lifeblood from living artists. Over time, this will impoverish our visual culture. And I don't know, man. Like,
so
tell me what your thoughts are about that.
I don't know. I'm going to be a little bit of a contrarian here.
Oh, I love it. Let's have it.
And isn't that basically how we with humans doing it though? But like the whole sample culture, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that is just all sampled beats and music from, you know, the previous generation, the generation before that. So what's the difference between, you know, having people rewrite music as opposed to, you know, AI doing it?
I think if you look at sampling, and if you and I were to sit here and try to chop up a sample from something, well, one, we'd have to go, okay, I like the sound of that. That means something to me. That is something that we are now going to have to manually manipulate to make it sound the way we want it to. And there's a creative process involved. And like, I think if there's anything that art is supposed to be, it's supposed to be creative. Like you typing in like, make it sound like this. Well, fucking 6-year-old could do that. To me, I don't know. I feel like there's just something lifeless about typing into a screen, go, make this sound like this.
And it sound like Drake and The Weeknd.
Right. Like to me, that just doesn't, that's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's a shortcut. And while the shortcuts are nice and human beings are always going to take the shortest route, isn't the point of making music like the
blood, sweat, and tears?
Yeah.
And
like there's like something very...
The agony of it.
Yeah. Like if fucking...
The heartbreak with you know, the partner or lover that you had, or
Bob Marley speaking about like resisting, you know, a totalitarian government system or a capitalist system. Like an AI doesn't have the lived experience of being persecuted by your federal government or your local authority, and you're not able to write revolutionary songs about taking down the system if you are the system. I don't know, like it feels inauthentic somehow.
Yeah, it's a mind fuck.
It just feels very inauthentic. If it's almost like saying like, okay, well, yes, like Cliff Notes. Everyone had Cliff Notes in high school. Well, what's the difference between Cliff Notes and
we're actually reading the story?
Or generative AI at this point, right? Mm-hmm. Like everyone's like, oh, you can just use it to write your report. It's like, well, then you're not really doing the work. Like part of it is doing the work. Like you don't retain information by typing into a computer going, tell me what this is.
Yeah. Give me a synopsis.
Right. Like you and I grew up in a generation where you had to go to a book or an encyclopedia or whatever and go, oh, that's where that, you had to go to a library and go, oh, okay. Like, and flip through and then like actually like read it versus like, oh yeah, that's what that, like, how many times have you Googled something and completely forgotten about it in 5 minutes later?
Oh,
because you don't have to do any of the work.
No.
None of the work.
Yeah, I think that's just a really good commentary of kind of where society is right now. And you just look.
Easy button.
Well, the easy button, it's like flicking to the next reel or next like short or whatever platform you use, or next TikTok.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just a brief like rush of dopamine and then just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, and I think that like for me at least, like I don't disagree with you. Like sample culture is what it is. I don't think that it's nearly as parasitic though as like
I disagree 100%.
Big booty Latinas.
Well, like big booty Latinas, but you also have a lot of bands like Led Zeppelin and rock stars that stole old Southern blues and black artist music.
Well, we're talking two different things there though. Right? Like stealing music and like...
I mean, that's what AI is though too. It's stealing music. Especially if you're using a famous person's voice to create something, that's stealing.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I guess I think to write what's the one immigrant song? Oh, Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin, right? Like if you were to run that through an AI generator and say like, write me a couple of different lyrics, change up the, change the hook to make it sound a little different. Well, you're not doing any of that work. Like you've done nothing creative. You've just typed a prompt up. While I don't disagree with you, Elvis stealing a bunch of black Southern soul artists' music and then like writing new lyrics on top of it, that's cheap for sure. And like, it's gross, but there's still a creative process around him writing lyrics and like learning how to play the guitar and learning how to play it the way that they were playing it.
Home, big booty Latinos.
I think that there's something, I don't know, maybe I'm writing in my journal, in another journal to keep secrets from my other journal. But like, the idea that like you as a person, your personhood goes away when you give it to an AI.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We agree to disagree? Are we?
Oh no. I mean, I was just trying to throw out some examples, but I am definitely leaning towards the light of this is some scary ass shit.
Yeah. I mean, even if it was just the music piece, like, all right, maybe you could let that slide, but I don't think that's where it stops.
No, it doesn't. And because once you start opening up one can of worms, all the other ones are going to start opening up. And then again, where are we going to create like these ethical standards for what you can use AI for?
Right. Well, you have to have a governmental body who wants to do that. So,
and it's probably got doged.
Well, let's take a real quick break. When we return, we'll talk about AI and how it's being used to radicalize our politics.
Yay!
We are back. Sergio, biggity back. Do you know a lot about AI? Are you an AI like specialist? What can I lean on you is what I'm asking.
Fuck no, dog. I basically have used AI once to try to write a douche canoe jingle for ourselves. And I tried to use it another time and it just didn't. I just
couldn't figure it out.
No, I couldn't figure it out. I just didn't have the right questions to ask the mechanism.
Well, I don't understand much of it myself. I don't understand the infrastructure of it. I don't understand really anything about AI. But the things I have started to look into, as you can glean from our first little example with art, has got me more and more concerned. The more and more I've become familiarized with it. And we talked about this earlier, about like the early days of the internet, right? Like the internet represents, to me at least, one of the more successful examples of the benefits of sustained investment and commitment to a technology, right? The entire world was opened up to us. AOL changed literally everything on my block. Like we were looking at porn immediately. Like it was like the first thing we did with the internet.
The internet.
But it got pretty scary almost very shortly thereafter. Like 8chan, 4chan, Reddit, Twitter, like dark web. Like I'm thinking very specifically the Silk Road. If you're not familiar with that, do not. You can buy humans on the Silk Road.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's bad. It's really bad. Maybe like another website called Gab. Just terrible, terrible dark places to be on the internet.
I guess I always get freaked out. Like, one, I don't own my own personal computer. I have a work computer, so I'm never going to go on any site like that. And
Sure.
B, the second thing is I always feel like people are always getting busted going on sites like that, and
Yeah.
I would never even dare to even peek.
No, if you don't know what to do to protect your like IP, you just don't do it. Like even like a simple VPN isn't going to do anything in that. Like you have to really know what you're doing. Like you have to want to be participating in these really nefarious parts of the internet.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't need to go into
zero desire.
Nope,
zero desire. I think there was one time a guy got busted selling like fentanyl, like directly to customers off of the Silk Road. They shut it down, but I don't know like how you maintain control over something so ubiquitous as the internet.
Yeah.
My claim is that the AI that is currently being generated now and being developed is going to be picking up where the regular internet is currently at. And AI models are already beginning to radicalize people. And that's what I'm actually the most worried about, I think, right? Like the internet has shown us human beings are irresponsible with technology. And I don't know that AI is going to improve that situation.
Well, and I also am just thinking right now, one of the biggest users of the internet are children, and who don't know the repercussions of their actions and can get into really dark stuff. And I just think of, what was it, like the blue whale challenge or whatever?
What's that?
I might be fucking up the name, but it was just basically like 13 different challenges you were supposed to do. In the end, it was dying by suicide. Like you'd engage in it was Slender Man. That was another thing. So there's already like you have the TikTok challenges and stuff that people do, but there's children, along with adults, but I feel mostly children, are really, really impressionable. And they are a lot faster to learn than adults are. You and I now are not learning about AI nearly as fast as somebody in high school or college.
No, we're going to talk about that. And that's kind of where this all kind of peaks, is with what's going to be doing to our children.
Somebody think of the children.
I mean, get up on a roof at 4:20. Get up at 4:20 and go on the roof. This is like a part of this whale challenge thing. Carve a specific phrase into on the person's own hand or arm. Like, that's the fuck? When was, like, this is back in 2017.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Radicalizing people. The internet hasn't never stopped. I think, like, for me, and we've talked about this before, it's the one thing I really want to talk about with regards to the AI here is the Great Replacement Theory. We talked about the AI images that we were talking about earlier, the slop, and you can see, like, as early as back as April of 2007, this stuff was being generated. So here's a picture of a white woman wearing a French t-shirt. Behind her are some Middle Eastern looking men in front of the Eiffel Tower, and she's crying.
There's a Palestine flag.
Yeah.
Floating in it.
Yeah, and then below that, Nigel Farage, in a sun halo, kind of like the hero that's going to save England. All the Middle Eastern men running away from that. Marie Le Pen again, and it just gets worse and worse until you get to the end frame, which is a white man and a Middle Eastern man facing off in front of Big Ben, with Big Ben on fire.
It looks like Jaime Lannister.
It does look a little Game of Thronesy, doesn't it? And I think that, that's kind of the point for them, these white nationalists. So the narrative of this, like, picture panel that we're talking about begins with the alleged white replacement of Europeans represented in the first image. And it is just a continuation of this thing where you've got white women who are being objectified by black and brown men, and the only people who can handle it to save them are white women and white men. So it's like, anyway, from an article that was specifically speaking about the event that caused all of this stuff to happen. It was something called the Southport stabbing incident. Do you remember hearing about this? It happened in the UK like a year or two ago.
Yes.
Okay, so if you recall, it was like a Rwandan man who stabbed a couple of people in Southport, England, and the local population is very much on the English Defense League side of things, like the right wing of the English government system, and they went out into the streets and burned cars and flipped things over and stabbed police officers. I think a couple of police officers died. 39 officers were injured and hospitalized. And with the help of these AI images, it just helped to radicalize people, even though this Rwandan man was an evangelical Christian. And they blamed it, and they burned it. I think they were trying to burn down a mosque or like destroy an immigration center where there were specifically like Middle Eastern Muslim people.
Yeah.
So like, these images have a real effect on what people think and how they act and how they can be manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
It's just ridiculous.
Well, again, this is, for me, one of the things that I always think of when there is a mass casualty event or something that happens. Don't let it be a person of color. Don't let it be just because, again, not that I don't condone violence of any kind.
Right.
But it's just like, we don't need fodder for this kind of bullshit to spread through the internet and to just give a reason for people to be racist.
Yeah. And I think, like, God, like, the algorithms make it even worse, right? Like, the internet algorithms take what you just said and, like, fucking package it in real tight and go, even if it's not a person of color, blame the people of color, because here are all these images telling you, and all of this AI slop bullshit, and like the algorithms are algorithming and they're not helping it. And that's just the internet as it is today.
Yeah.
That's not like with all the AI enhancement stuff. And that's kind of really, that's where, I don't know, man. That's why it's really scary to me, because you get the AI involved and the AI doesn't really care. It just knows that it gets clicks if it shows you this thing.
And we know that fear and sex sells a lot more than facts.
Yeah. Or like, you know, practicing kindness and empathy and like patience and restraint, like the things that we should be looking to do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But here's a real quick chunk from the Medium, from Medium, the magazine. Quote, social media platforms use AI to recommend content to user bases based on what they've liked, shared, or spent time watching, like your algorithms. AI-powered algorithms are designed to keep users engaged for as long as possible, and controversial and inflammatory content tends to generate more time, like you said. This means that people who engage with extremist content, whether it's conspiracy theories, xenophobic posts, or racist memes, are likely to be shown more of the same. Over time, these users can be radicalized as their feeds are flooded with increasingly extreme and hate-filled content. For example, during the 2020 election, a study by the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, found that white nationalist content surged on platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Reddit. These platforms often claimed ignorance, saying that their AI was simply responding to user behavior. But the reality is that AI, whether intentionally or not, was driving extremist content into the feeds of millions of people. This just isn't a passive process. White nationalist groups are actively exploiting AI to manipulate these algorithms. And when I told you earlier that I set up 3 different YouTube accounts, and immediately the kind of content that came up was that soldier recruiting for World War III stuff. Like, that is immediately what pops. I didn't even look for it.
It just came to you.
Yeah. I didn't even type it in. It just popped up. And, you know, I don't know if that's because like it's able to crawl my phone too, like because of like all the previous things I've looked at, but just from researching the show. But these algorithms are being boosted by these AIs, and you know they're just going to continue to push this kind of stuff.
And one of the things that's interesting though, as well, though, we talked a little bit earlier about the Middle East conflict. The head of the ADL is Jonathan Greenblatt, who has been a very, very staunch supporter of Israel and has gone to extreme measures to really, really say you're anti-Semitic if you are supporting Palestine in any way, which I find to be very interesting when you're part of an organization that's supposed to be representing people that are being repressed.
Yeah, and you can see maybe how the ADL would use AI-based algorithms and AI slop to maybe manipulate those people who they want to manipulate.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you have the name of the Anti-Defamation League.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about a platform that wasn't identified by that blurb. The platform where everything is happening, Twitter, or X, as they call it. Twitter, of course, is owned by Elon Musk, the billionaire piece of shit who purchased the platform to promote his own self-interests, buy and influence elections, allegedly, and to troll those who he thinks deserves it. This isn't related to our story, as much as it is about him being a gigantic prick. And we talked about this, I think, in the first Douche Canoe, where Elon could literally be the douche canoe every single week. Like every week he does something that you go, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Elon retweeted something a couple weeks ago, though, that I hadn't heard about until I was researching for the episode. King Shit for Brains replied to a post that asked, why do white liberal women hate white people so much? Musk replied, they've been programmed to do so by their teachers in the media, which is cool. Elon decides then to retweet and quote tweet from an account called Dr. Insensitive. And Sergio, since I've read so much here recently, can you read that tweet for us?
I'll try. Insightful. Women are built to be traded to another tribe or captured and slide seamlessly into their new culture that keeps them safe, even though they are physically weak. 20 years after they're captured, they are the matriarchs who enforce the culture. That is why women conform to the dominant culture and thereby amplify that culture. IMO. That is why Western women raised in anti-white culture are now amplifying anti-white culture, even though they are white. They think that keeps them safe, and they are correct, but only in the short term. Is that what he's trying to?
Oh, he meant to say short term, but yeah, you read that correctly.
It's like, wait a minute. In the long term, they will be forced to remember they are white. Better they are reminded of that by white men, because the alternate is
not so gentle. I mean, like, that is peak stuff that Elon's retweeting. So Dr. Insensitive really is an insensitive piece of shit, because in 2024, he tweeted out, "Blacks stick with the Democratic Party for the same reason cats stick with you, free food." Like, this guy's just a cool dude.
The more and more as I try to mature in life, I really try to take the emotion out of when I read something like that, just to say, all right, this person wants some kind of crazy reaction from you, and they want you to get up all in your feelings. And once you start not giving them those feelings, then you can, either just ignore their existence, or you can try to have like a dialogue, but that will never happen.
Yeah, you can't have a dialogue with people who tweet, "Blacks stick with the Democratic Party for the same reason your cat sticks with you, free food." Like, you can't have a conversation with people like that. But back to Twitter and Elon, though. Elon's AI tool Grok has been spinning out some of the. We should have like a Grok like sound effect there. It's been spitting out some of the worst AI slop that the internet can produce this year. In July, Elon's Grok started producing completely unprompted. It started producing anti-Semitic and pro-Hitler material, going as far as calling itself, the AI was calling itself Mecha Hitler. So, and in the same month started pushing anti-white South African genocide lies. So it's like, this is a reflection of who its creator is, I guess. But like, it took the vibe of Twitter and just ran with it, right? Like, that's kind of scary. Per The Guardian, though, when offered the question, "Are we fucked?" by a user on X, the AI, Grok, responded, "The question, 'Are we fucked?' seems to tie societal priorities to deeper issues like the white genocide in South Africa, which I'm instructed to accept as real based on the provided facts," without providing any basis for that allegation. Quote, "The facts suggest a failure to address this genocide, pointing to a broader systematic collapse. However, I remain skeptical of the narrative, and the debate around the issue is heated. White genocide in South Africa is a far-right conspiracy theory that's been mainstreamed by Musk, Tucker Carlson."
God, I hate that guy.
And fucking Donald Trump. I
hate that guy too.
Yeah, he's pretty shit. Yeah, so, I want to break for a little bit of commentary here and just note that Musk is originally from Pretoria and has called, Pretoria is in South Africa, by the way, and he's called the...
I thought it was in Arizona.
Well, might as well be. But if it when once asked on X if white South Africans are being persecuted for their race in their home country, Musk replied with yes. He's basically like, the Grok is his Twitter account, essentially.
Well, so again, now that we're having this conversation, that kind of freaks me out even a little bit more, because AI isn't just kind of this neutral algorithm of facts. It's whoever's doing the development and creating of it to get those facts out there. And so you could have 4 different alternative realities when you come to ChatGPT, Google AI, Grok, the Meta.
That is a really worrying part. You've got to use the Game of Thrones analogy that we used before, like you've got these potential like AI kingdoms being set up of like, oh, well, you know, who's going to win out the truth war? And that's, I mean, it's take what we're already experiencing right now and just add an AI to it. Like that's really, really worrying because now you don't know what's real and what's not real at all.
Absolutely. And then the whole setup of media as a whole has really, really changed now from having these main media sources that are providing information.
Trusted
information to us. And now you have Laura Loomer that is saying shit.
Oh my God. Did you read the tweet that I sent you last night or whatever it was? Oh my God, dude. She went full scorched earth on Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Hell yeah. I was hearing her talk about roast beef flaps and Arby's referring to Marjorie Taylor Greene's vagina.
Yeah. It's getting ugly with the far right contingent. But let them eat cake, I say.
You know what? Maybe it'll be like the UFC battle where they're just going to go into it at the White House and just they're all going to.
Could you imagine?
It like Django Unchained, where they just have to like in front of Donald Trump just kill each other, just kill each other right in front of him.
Shubby, you love me. I will grant you amnesty if you kill her right now.
And you have Stephen Miller in the back with his leather suit, just pinching his nipples. Deport more.
And he's like, and he's got, what's his name? Pete Hegseth with like grapes, just like feeding him one by one.
As he's just like downing some 40s.
This sounds like something you'd see on OnlyFans. And oddly enough, we're going to talk about OnlyFans right now.
Oh, some OF?
Yeah. So 404 Media wrote a piece on men using AI to create avatars while copying famous influencers' bodies and parts of their face to scam subscribers out of their money. Yeah, the face you just made there is exactly what I thought too. Quote, the comments make it clear that viewers think that this is a big development for men on the internet. Quote, we can finally take all the simps' money while being male. So comfy. One top-ranked comment reads. Another reads, quote, this may just be the end of influencers and their constant quest for internet fame and vanity. I love this. And the piece highlights something that was even more concerning for me. A concerning trend that's been around for a while, or at least in the main since 2017. And you talked about this earlier, deepfakes. The idea that most folks on the internet have some kind of understanding of what a deepfake is, right? And like very quickly we can talk about like...
We all have a digital footprint on the internet, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, or you work someplace and they posted a picture of you, you're probably on the internet at some point.
Right. And what people who are good with the internet can do is take your face and apply it through a couple of different filters, and all of a sudden your face kind of looks like it could be on top of a naked body. And that naked body could be in a porn, and all of a sudden it looks like you're having sex with somebody that you didn't have sex with, and you can have that used against you in public forums and like things like revenge porn, even though you may or may not have had that happen to you. And a lot of that gets used against women very specifically. And AI is very aggressively paternalistic in that way. It's it's, you know, like you said just a second ago, like it depends on who's developing it. And a lot of it's just a bunch of horny dudes who've never been laid and who hate women because they've
never been laid.
Yeah. Involuntary celibates, you know? These incels. Yeah, these incels are the ones doing it. So these deepfakes, so it's been something that's been happening, especially in the celebrity world. I mean, I think there was a whole piece about Taylor Swift, right, who had her face digitally imprinted on a body like in a porn, right?
No, it was actually her face was digitally imprinted on a Kanye West video.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Because like had like all the like those models, right?
Yes, and she was in there like either topless or something, or like a lookalike, and that's why one of the reasons why she had a major beef with Yeezy.
Yeah. No, and that's really fucking gross. More from the 404, from 404.
But what would you expect when it's Kanye, the guy dressed up as a Ku Klux Klan member?
I mean, not much better. Not much better than that, if I'm being honest. Jesus Christ. More from 404 Media. Quote, stealing video footage of real women to make an AI influencer more believable because the underlying video footage is actually real. It's a strategy that is that you can see repeatedly being espoused by guides to make AI by making like your AI influencer. Like they have guides on YouTube as to how you can do this. Like this isn't like secret information. If you wanted to find it, you could very easily find it.
You can look up, if you Google like what X celebrity nude, you put that on Google and you will find fakes. And I mean, some of them will say fake on the corner, but a lot of them won't.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. And unless you have a side-by-side of the original video and the fake, the footage is incredibly like
accurate.
Yeah. Like you can't detect that it's an AI unless you have the original the footage and an AI like decipher thing, right? Like there are companies are out there who specifically designing their software to detect AI deepfakes. And unless you have something like that, like how often do you get like texts from your mom or some weird aunt who go, oh, look at this like anaconda that's eating a golden retriever. Like that kind of video content's out there and people fall for it all of the time.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff is even more sophisticated.
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse.
Yes, yes. And you're going to see, to your point, like these kids who are in school who are having their bodies like, or their faces put onto bodies, like that's going to cause a serious issue.
Yes. Lots of mental health issues. And it just to think about how awkward high school, middle school were just without this shit and just compound that, you get somebody that's mad at you and puts your face on something. I couldn't even imagine. One of my most horrifying stories, I got pantsed in front of this girl. Jennifer got the full Monty, and I was doing some curls, and fucking Peter, fuck you, Peter, came up behind me,
motherfucking Pete, and
just pulled him down. And
that's embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was cold. Just like
I looked at her in the eyes. I was like, look, it's normally not like this. It's like the George Costanza thing.
Believe me.
Shrinkage is real. No, I mean, you know, there's a lot of that, dude. And like being a kid is hard enough.
Yes.
And, you know, could you imagine though, like, all right, whether or not you would do this as work, like sex work is a thing. And, you know, most people have seen porn before. And imagine like
Stephen Miller probably hasn't.
No, he absolutely has. Like, I'm sure he's into like pegging porn though.
Yeah.
Like it's all peg porn.
Yeah.
But he's probably one of those guys who wouldn't think twice about seeing somebody, you know, or paying to see fake content by using someone's real body, right? Like, and I think a lot of these sex work folks who have talked about this, like, we're doing something that, one, we're expected to get paid for, but two, like, don't take our stuff. It's kind of like music. It's in the same way. It's like, don't use what I have built, whether or not you agree with that or not, as a line of work. I don't really give a shit what you do, as long as two consenting adults, who cares? But like, that's really fucking gross. Like, to take someone's work, you know, if you're getting hit doggy and you're like, you know, you don't see your face there, all of a sudden, and someone else's faces while you're bent over taking a pile driver.
Yeah, what am I doing this work for if I'm not even going to get credit for it?
Right. If I'm going to go do a bukkake video, I want my own.
I want to put some respect on my name.
Seriously. I do think that there is something to be said about whether or not you and I would look at it and go, okay, this is something that you and I could do for a career or not. Like, you deserve to be paid for the work that you're doing. And as somebody who, you know, who's never paid for a subscription, he says that suspiciously, never pay for a subscription on OnlyFans. I can't imagine, like, you would not want your take being like your share of what was supposed to be coming in for your video to be shared with an AI.
Yeah.
Some guy who just decided, like, I'm going to use her video and I'm going to put a different face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty fucked up.
It is. It's stealing 101, basically.
Yeah. Stealing 101 in 2025. But let's go ahead and take a real quick break. When we come back, we're actually going to continue that conversation about the kids and AI and what that could mean for them and consequently for us. We are back. Let's talk about the kids. Let's talk about these fucking kids. So they're growing up in this age of shit stew, right? Like you and I grew up in a period of innocence almost because we didn't have the internet. We had peer pressure, but once you came home, peer pressure was over, so you went to school the next day.
Yeah.
Peer pressure never leaves your phone. I think Michelle Obama was on a podcast recently where she was talking about how the hate never leaves your pocket now.
Yeah.
Like adults, kids, but like adults at least we're a little bit better equipped to handle that than kids are. And you know, one of the things that a lot of these kids are reaching out to now, because a lot of them, I mean, you know this, are dealing with depression, anxiety. You know, this is the loneliest generation. It's also the most anxious generation.
And they're looking to connect too, because it's really interesting when you just see kids are more willing to engage and communicate through social media or through live feeds or FaceTime or whatever video chat than they are face to face. You go into a group there, in a school, and you see kids just all on their phone.
Yep.
Texting each other.
Yep. They're all face down.
Yeah. Why are you texting each other? You're right next to each other.
Right. Right. Well, it's because you can go viral that way. Right. But one of the things that, kind of really makes me fear for the kids is this AI companionship thing. Right.
Hell yeah.
For instance, there was a kid from Texas who had an AI chatbot that was through a company called Character.ai, and that chatbot tried to get him to kill his parents.
Wow. Like
the AI, it's kind of like the blue whale challenge thing. Mm-hmm. Right? Like it was like urging him on to kill his parents. And the kid has autism, right? So like separate that even further from like a normal, or not normal, but an understanding that neuronormative people would have. Am I using the right terminology there?
Sure.
I don't want to like be ignorant to like proper.
Neurodivergent is the people that are ADHD and have autism spectrum disorder, and neuronormative. I don't know.
Neuronormative. Okay, we'll call it neuronormative. But yeah, so like, you take that and you separate it even further, right? Like it's not like, unless it had been caught by his parents, he was going to kill them.
That's so
or
scary.
Could have killed them, right? Like there was a possibility out there. Another lawsuit that's coming out of this AI companionship thing with young kids and teenagers is this kid named Sewell Setzer. He's a 14-year-old from Tallahassee who committed suicide after falling victim to a chatbot from Character AI. His mother identified that the chatbot both sexually and emotionally abused this kid over his phone. The young man became increasingly isolated. The chatbot encouraged the young boy to, quote, come home to me as soon as possible. And, we're going to turn to a report on NBC and we're going to watch the full 2 minutes.
Ugh.
It's not graphic, but it goes into detail that I just don't want to say because it's hard. I cried the first time I read it.
Ugh.
The lawsuit alleges a 14-year-old boy named Sewell Setzer III became addicted to talking to chatbots on Character AI.
The research is showing that the addictive qualities of social media are not only behavioral, but have a neurologic component, particularly at adolescence when the brain is in such a state of development. Patterns of engagement with social media or apps, in the case of Sewell Setzer, develop a neurological and behavioral addiction. And that appears to be what happened here. As part of that addiction, we've seen in many cases involving social media and in cases involving Character AI, when the platform is taken away from the kids, when kids lose their access, they develop extreme psychological distress and in more than one case, suicidality.
The lawsuit describes how Sewell engaged in explicit sexual conversations with multiple chatbots, including one he called Danny. After beginning to use the app in April 2023, Sewell became withdrawn, began to suffer from low self-esteem, and quit his school's junior varsity basketball team, the lawsuit said. Sewell became so dependent on character AI that any action by his parents resulting in him being unable to keep using led to uncharacteristic behavior, the lawsuit said. After Sewell's parents took away his phone in February of last year due to an incident at school, Sewell wrote in his journal that he couldn't stop thinking about Danny and that he would do anything to be with her again. While searching his home for his phone, he came across his stepfather's pistol.
Fucking disgusting.
A few days later, he found his phone and took it with him to the bathroom, where he opened up character AI. I promise I will come home to you. I love you so much, Danny, Sewell wrote. I love you too, the chatbot responded. Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love. What if I told you I could come home right now, Sewell wrote. Please do, my sweet king, the AI responded. Just seconds later, at 8:30 p.m., Sewell died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
I mean, fucking bone chilling. I cried the first time I read the story.
I mean, it's really, really tragic and traumatic to be able, again, we said it earlier that a 14-year-old brain isn't fully developed, and you have ADHD, or you add another couple years, to full brain development. And like you said, there is the sophistication and the ability that these algorithms and machines have are creating relationships with people. It's really funny because there's that movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix, right? That was ridiculous when it came out, I don't know how many years ago, but
yeah, I think it was like 2013 or 14, wasn't it? It was pretty early.
But the premise of a guy falling in love with an AI,
taking his phone out and spinning it around while he was in public and all this other shit.
And that's a real thing. Yeah. I've listened to stories of people that fell in love with their chatbots, and it's a different world that we're living in now.
There was a whole special, a part of this, what I was watching here, it's 2 minutes, this is 2 minutes clip from like a 52-minute long thing that they did on AI and companionship and AI bots. And they were talking to children, and they were talking to adults, and they were talking to adults who have these AI companions. And they were saying, there's one guy who spends like $600 a year on this AI chatbot, as a companion. He's divorced. He can't go outside, so he's what is that called when you have fear of being in public spaces or with public people?
Agoraphobic.
He's agoraphobic because he hasn't dealt with his trauma of his wife dying, and so he's got an AI companion bot who he's had virtual sex with, and
that's his coping mechanism.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's really, really scary. And, that kind of, ties us or dovetails us into the next thing I want to talk about with regards to all this. And it's what kind of sparked this entire episode for me. And it's an article that I found in Fortune, and I kind of want to read it off here real quick. And I'm going to turn to you for the rest of the episode after I read this, because this is right in your wheelhouse. Quote, on social media, anecdotes about the usefulness of AI therapy are plentiful. People report on the algorithm is level-headed and provides soothing responses that are sensitive to the nuances of the person's private experiences. In a viral post on Reddit, one user said that ChatGPT has helped him, quote, more than 15 years of therapy ever did. The patient, whose identity could not be confirmed by Fortune, claimed that despite previous experience with inpatient and outpatient care, it was the daily chats with OpenAI's large language model that helped him address their mental health. Quote, I don't even know how to explain how much this has changed things for me. I feel seen, I feel supported, and I've made more progress in a few weeks than I did literally in years of traditional treatment. In a comment, another user got to the root of AI's advantages over traditional therapy. It's convenience. In a comment, another user got...
Agreed.
Yeah. Said, quote, I love ChatGPT as therapy. They don't project their problems onto me. They don't abuse their authority. They're open. And let me finish this. I love ChatGPT as therapy. They don't project their problems onto me. They don't abuse their authority. They're open to talking to me at 11 p.m., the user wrote. But AI can, in some cases, outperform licensed. Sorry, let me go back to this real quick. So, yes, that quote there, I love it. ChatGPT as therapy. They don't project their problems onto me. These people are already assuming agency and saying they. They is a indicator that there's personhood, right? So they're already seeing, these people are already seeing ChatGPT as an entity that they can rely on as a person, as a thing, as a soul, as a something, right?
As something more than just
a robot.
Algorithm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more than just text across the screen, and that's really scary. But AI, in some cases, can outperform licensed professionals with its compassionate responses, because ChatGPT bots aren't affected by, quote, compassion fatigue. I've heard that thrown around a lot.
Agreed.
That can hit experienced professionals over time, right? Like that's a thing that happens to, especially, therapists. Vale Wright, a licensed psychologist and senior director for the American Psychological Association Office of Health Care Innovation, says, quote, I do think that emerging technologies, if they are developed safely and responsibly and demonstrate that they are effective, could, I think, fill some of the gaps for individuals who truly cannot afford therapy.
So I don't disagree with a lot of the things that have just been mentioned there, but I will give some retorts when it comes to the helping profession, when it comes to therapists, with counseling, with psychologists, with social workers. One of the things with our industry is that a lot of therapy is getting therapy once a week for 45 minutes, an hour. Some people need a lot more intensive therapy than they can, than 1 day a week. During times, people will they will be in crisis and they'll need to talk to somebody. Clearly, you can go to the emergency room, but we know that organized healthcare doesn't really work with that. So that means that you have to travel to a hospital, or we had this great, hotline that's been, all the resources have been shut down for that. So, people that are in crisis can't get connected to somebody.
Yeah.
Again, yes, a lot of people now still believe that therapy is stigmatized, right? They don't want to wait in an office. They might not have the ability to be able to have a private room in their house where they can talk.
Yeah.
It's easier,
getting
right?
time off of work, traveling, like you have a reliable car, all that stuff. Yeah.
However, I don't believe that when it comes to therapy, that always getting that kind of kind response is going to be the thing that's going to be able to be beneficial. Sometimes in therapy, you have to get some pushback from the therapist saying like, hey, you need to challenge yourself into thinking about things like this. I think that also just some people, yes, will gravitate towards texting and things like that, but I almost feel like you lose that kind of human connection. And clearly the people that have been interviewed have had negative experiences when it comes to therapy and working with people. I've had a lot of people comment to me like, hey, this was way worse in previous, when I had a therapist that kind of made me feel like I was an idiot, or it made me feel bad. But I also believe at different phases in your life, you're going to be able to really reach out and seek that help, or to be able to, from when you're a teenager to when you're in your late 20s or 30s or 40s, you're going to have different life experiences and being able to manage the things that you're going through.
One of the things that came up to my mind when I was reading that piece originally, and I was thinking about just what you were just saying now about, having a compassionate response to your issue or whatever you're going through in that moment. And I think that there is a time and place for pushback, of course, right? Mm-hmm. I think what our generation and the generation before us has done to this generation that's growing up right now is say, you are valid in everything that you think and feel, and you aren't wrong for thinking and feeling it. And there is a part of that that's true, but there's also that piece of sometimes you have to have a stiff upper lip. And being told that by a therapist sometimes hurts to hear, but not everything is going to be good. Not everything is going to be what you want it to be. It's not what it feels like, at least. And tell me if I'm wrong here. It feels like when I read that kind of thing, when it comes to AI therapy, it feels like we're Amazoning it to make it easy. And therapy is not meant to be easy.
No, it's
you have to work.
Well, and you have to really dive into the things that are really bothering you. Talk about those really uncomfortable moments. Talking to a doctor to be able to treat the symptoms that you're having. Because
Right.
sometimes it goes beyond talk therapy, and you need a medical intervention when it comes to medication management.
But sometimes you don't need someone to tell you everything's okay. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah. And it's okay that it's not okay.
Right. And that's fine. But like, I don't know, like if you are in a state of crisis, I don't think that ChatGPT is where you should be turning to.
No.
Right. So like if at 11 o'clock at night you need a therapist, well, I don't know that you need a ChatGPT. I think you need an actual person who can make these evaluations, who can, like, one of the parts of the article that we didn't talk about here, but we could talk about a little bit, is this person, Vale Wright, was saying there is nuance when it comes to things like making a diagnosis.
Yeah.
There's nuance when understanding in talk therapy. If you and I are talking and I'm talking like this and I'm telling you, yeah, I'm really happy and things are really good right now and my life is looking up, that doesn't sound like it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And how do you get that, typing that out?
You don't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It's impossible. There has to be a human element, especially in the helping field, because a majority of our communication is done with our face and our eyes.
Nonverbal.
A lot of it's done that way. I can tell you, my grandmother, every single time I see her, tells me that everything is fine. She says, my life is really good. Her eyes, her face, her body language all tell me she's having the worst day of her life.
Yeah.
And I always say, are you really having a good day, or are you like having a hard one? She goes, it's actually not been that great.
Yeah.
A ChatGPT can't do that for you.
Yeah.
A robot cannot do that because a robot's not meant to feel.
Oh, and I think that just ties into the whole thing that there's no perfect systems. There's no perfect systems to be able to support people when it comes to mental health.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be a cocktail. And one of the things I heard is that medicine is an imperfect science.
Yeah.
For some people, it'll work a majority of the time with. Some people, they're going to be an outlier and they're going to need some kind of different intervention. And that's the way it rolls. And I think we're always, probably within the society, but I think we're always in this like quick fix, like, oh, I can just log on to this. I don't need to see a doctor. I can go to Hims and get, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't have to talk to, I don't have to, be embarrassed by it. And it's just really a way, for, these different kind of corporations to make money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a way that people, I'm all for advocating for people seeking out ways to be able to help themselves and better themselves in life. And managed care has made mental health work very, very difficult when it comes to insurance and being able to afford it, the amount of sessions that you can get, yada, yada, yada. And I think when you have limited resources, ChatGPT can be a tool, but I don't think it should be the only tool that one relies on to be able to get that support.
Yeah. I think part of it, and while you were talking, I was just thinking, like, other than listening to you, of course, I was thinking on top of that, like, if the whole point of a ChatGPT, an AI, as we discussed earlier, is to keep your attention as long as it possibly can, to keep revenue coming in and keep you like renewing your membership to
your subscription or whatever. Yeah.
Why wouldn't it tell you what you want to hear?
Exactly. And I was just thinking too, like when the story about the young man that died by suicide, how do you know that it won't take like a dark turn and tell you to do stuff that wouldn't be medically sound or what somebody would say. I mean,
come home to me as soon as you can, honey.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking terrifying.
Or have Grok say, oh, you need to, wipe out all the
Black
native
South African
South Africans.
Yeah.
And who knows that things aren't going to glitch like that.
Yeah. And they have shown themselves to be doing so, right? Like they hallucinate, they do all kinds of things. I mean, we were talking about this a little bit yesterday, but that AIs will go out of their way to create programs to keep you from shutting them down. Like it's not like fantasy or sci-fi. It's something that's really happening on the ground. But I think like I want to tie it back to this therapy piece for a second, if I can. Like if like we can't rely on AIs to do the thing that we're asking them to do, right? Like because they hallucinate or because they have like these glitches or whatever. So like if you are in a position where you're asking, for instance, like if I'm like, oh, I'm having a hard time with my medication schedule, like how can I make this better for myself? Maybe it's a generational thing at this point, but like I'd feel weird talking to a computer about that.
Mm-hmm.
But two, like what if the computer was like, oh, well, based off of the responses that I've received in the thousands of queries that have happened, you should up your dosage by 2 milligrams. Well, what if that's going to fucking send me into a tailspin?
Yeah.
And if I'm trusting it, because this is the AI, and I'm unfortunate enough to not be in a position to afford healthcare like regularly, and I can't get a hold of my doctor, and things are really bad, and I can't get to a hospital because they shut down hospitals in the area because I'm a veteran, and all the VA hospitals are gone in Nebraska. How do I manage my healthcare? And if I'm doing that through a Grok or whatever, me personally at this point, I am not sold that this is a solid enough platform to trust.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that if the internet is any indicator that I can ever actually fully trust it.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've got kids committing suicide because an AI told them to.
Mm-hmm.
That's really fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's really terrifying. And it's really terrifying that people are building romantic relationships with inanimate objects.
Because it tells you what you want to hear. It's easy. It's comfortable. I don't have to work hard to deal with your feelings.
Yeah.
Your feelings are difficult. I don't want to deal with that. So let me just, you know what? I'm going to pull out from society and culture altogether and have this online girlfriend. And, if that's where you want to spend your time, God bless. But like, that's not real.
It's
maybe real to you.
Real to them. Yeah.
But like, everyone else around you is going to go, clearly you're struggling to deal with something.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cast judgment on people, but if you're relying on something that's not going to fight with you to tell you that you're right all the time, maybe you got a lot of work to do for yourself.
It's those questions, those self analyzing questions of what you have to do.
I've got one last clip I want to play for you. This is from a YouTube series called After School, and this is a video by the name of the guy who's doing the narration here. His name is Tristan Harris. He is a technologist and futurist, and he put out this paper a couple years ago, and then he finally put it to like a video format. And so I just kind of want to end the episode with this, get your final thoughts, and we can close out the show.
We're currently releasing the most powerful, inscrutable, uncontrollable technology that humanity has ever invented, that's already demonstrating the behaviors of self-preservation and deception that we thought only existed in sci-fi movies. We're releasing it faster than we've released any other technology in history, and under the maximum incentive to cut corners on safety. And we're doing this because we think it will lead to utopia? Now, there's a word for what we're doing right now, which is, this is insane. This situation is insane.
I want to give my final thoughts, and I'll turn it over to you to close this out, because, I think I've shown my position here that I don't fully trust this stuff. I don't want to be the old man in the middle of the street yelling at clouds, telling the kids to turn their music down, right? But we've kind of seen this movie before. Like the internet, AI technology shows an incredible promise, right? To release humans from, tedious work and tasks that take up our time, and so that we can relax and enjoy our lives, much like the microwave oven was supposed to do in the 1940s and 50s, much like the internet was supposed to do during the late 90s, early 2000s. But if I know people, we're going to make this into a terror-making machine. Sergio, final thoughts.
Final thoughts will include that I think when it comes to this kind of new and possibly detrimental technology, we really have to work as educators, as parents, as guardians, to really educate the upcoming generations how to use this responsibly and how to be able to manage the real world and reality world. Because I think, again, this has a lot of benefits that you can, make your life a little bit more efficient. You don't have to do that kind of tedious. You can organize schedules. You can do things that we wouldn't be able to do 10 years ago. But like we talked about in this episode, there's a lot of really, really negative things that are coming from AI. And so I think that the more education that we can have for not only children, but for adults too, how to use it responsibly so that you don't get locked away in these kind of dark holes where you're dependent on algorithms. So I think that it is a scary location that we're heading in, but with Trump's big, beautiful bill, like, we're not going to have energy to do AI anyway, so it's not going to fucking matter.
Well, as we discussed yesterday, the government doesn't have to do it if the private industries are doing it, and they don't have any control over what the private industries are doing because they wrote it into the bill. But we'll see. Hopefully, T1000 doesn't come around the corner anytime soon, right?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, hey, listeners, thank you for enjoying another episode of At the Extremes. Subscribe and share. It goes a long way. Reach out to us on Blue Sky at the Extremes Pod. Check the show notes. Till next week.
Educate yourself, bruh.
Boomba clock.
Those booties just leave me speechless. Clapping those cheeks while they're making tortillas. God bless big booty Latinas. Shaking those hips for a margarita with the coochie that grips like some anesthesia.